The transition from traditional television to streaming services has led to a major cord cutting across the country, but overshadowing the impact, and we don't really talk about this enough, is the impact on local television stations and the decline in local news coverage. More and more of the closures of local newspapers nationwide, of course, as well. Joining us right now is Tom Rogers, Newsweek editor-at-large, Oorbit Gaming executive chairman, former NBC Cable president, and CNBC contributor. Just too many titles. He's done too much. His latest op-ed argues that more action needs to be taken to ensure the survival, though, of local news in the U.S. and thinks that streaming should be a part of it. Tom, you want to make the argument?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Andrew. You and I have talked ad nauseum about the streaming wars and its impact on entertainment, on sports. Its impact on local stations really doesn't get talked about very much. But when people cut the cord, they are effectively dropping their local stations and the local news that comes from that. And that's a serious issue, particularly in light of the fact that newspapers, local newspapers, are really dwindling in this country. We've lost some 3,000 daily and weekly local newspapers in the last 20 years, and that's accelerating. We're losing about 2.5 on average local papers a week now. And we're down about 40 million homes in terms of local stations being able to be received in those homes. So a real issue here. And when that happens, it's not only that the audience is lost, but the payments from cable and satellite operators to those local stations is lost. And that's the real economic hit. So the question is, what do we do about it?
Right. Well, so I want to ask what to do about it, but here's the thing I can't figure out. Why does there seem to be a considerably smaller, if not infinitesimal, audience for local news, even in those markets? Which is to say, obviously the markets are smaller than a national audience, but oddly enough, you have local folks who don't seem to gravitate towards local news, even when it is in front of them in this era. Why is that?
Well, local news still has its audience. The people still connected to the cord tend to be older viewers, and as a result, local news tends to have a somewhat older audience. But when it comes to local sports, when it comes to local weather, obviously all kinds of other local stories, that's the primary viewing audience, and its audience has been dwindling over time. But in terms of political candidates needing to reach a local audience during elections, being able to buy time on those stations is still critical, and all kinds of local public affairs stories are still captured in those local stations. And you're right, audience has dwindled, but it's still meaningful.
Hey, Tom, for the cable rules, I mean, when I was an intern in Congress, I worked on the syndicated exclusivity laws, which were these congressmen who were in local districts outside of big cities where they were mad that, they weren't getting coverage of the things they were doing back in their districts. So they passed the syndicated exclusivity laws, which forced these cable companies to do it. Do you anticipate Washington could take a similar move with new media and try and say, hey, you have to have a space for local coverage? And again, it was politics because these congressional leaders were upset that they weren't getting coverage for the things they were doing back in their districts.
Right. Well, the FCC really hasn't pressed this issue. Of course, broadcast stations are licensed by the FCC, and that gives them a license to broadcast over the air, which does reach an entire market. And before the cable era, but going back 40 years ago, everybody had antennas, and it was meaningful to have that over-the-air reach. With the cable era and people getting their local signals through cable and satellite, that changed. What's really interesting, and here's where the FCC could have some impact, antenna sales are back up. About 8 million over-the-air antennas were sold last year, and they've changed. They're much smaller. They're much cheaper. They fit in a window. They cost, on average, about $25. And so the ability to recreate that over-the-air is possible. The issue is that you got to get the antennas out there, one, and two, very importantly, you can't have the stations in Never Never Land when it comes to people turning on their TV. They have to be in the same user interface as your Netflix, as your Disney Plus. They got to be sitting right there. Now, the Paramount Pluses of the world, the Peacocks of the world, do make room within their apps for local station news coverage. but most people don't turn to those apps for that, and many households in any given local market don't have those apps. So the question is, what could happen so that you get the antennas out there and the user interface could make room for the stations in the same interface as Netflix? And the answer to that, I think, is a new alliance between cable operators and local stations, which traditionally there's been a lot of friction toward. But now cable is facing some real broadband competition for its internet service. And it would be interesting in my mind, particularly Comcast, the parent of this network, and Charter, which have come up with their own interface for viewers called Zumo, and you can personalize what you get in that interface. If those cable companies were putting in the antennas as part of their broadband service, allowing the UI to coexist for TV stations, and in return, local stations promote the broadband service now that there's that real competition cable operators are facing, and in return for that, getting a promotion fee of some kind for the advertising they do, which could in part replace the fees today that those local stations get from the cable satellite bundle. So I think there's calls for really a new industry alliance of some kind for the common interests of cable local stations to try to solve this, something
Tom,
that the FCC just is not pressing.